Coming up on this edition of Out of the Blue from Middle Tennessee State University, we chat with history professor Ben Sawyer, who entertains students with a delivery style he honed as a stand-up comedian, and he's the host of a popular podcast. We learn about new medical profession partnerships between MTSU's College of Basic and Applied Sciences and two Tennessee higher education institutions. And we'll visit a rehearsal of the MTSU Wind Ensemble, led by Dr. Reed Thomas, as they prepare to perform in MTSU's annual holiday concert, Joys of the Season. I'm Andrew Oppmann, and this is Out of the Blue. Welcome to Out of the Blue. I'm Andrew Oppmann. Benjamin Sawyer is a history professor at MTSU, and he studies some very serious topics, such as the ways that capitalism and communism take on social meanings that transcend core economic principles. But what you might not know, that he's a stand-up comedian. He's a frequent interview on multiple media sources across the country, and he's the co-host of a history podcast called The Road to Now. Professor, welcome to Out of the Blue.
Andrew, thank you for having me.
So I gotta say, I saw one of your acts, which would be preview day for prospective students. And you held that, we had 2,000 people in that audience, and you held them all in close attention. They were laughing, learning history and learning about MTSU and everything that we had to offer. That's gotta be a lot of fun, taking history, taking university lecture topics and applying that kind of skill and expertise to hold their attention, right?
Oh, it's amazing. One of the key things you have to understand, I think, when you walk in front of any group, and this is what stand-up has taught me, is that when you walk in front of people, you've got to know what their expectations are. I've seen a lot of the academic presentations, and what no one expects is that a person going up there is going to open up with a misdirect joke, right? And so, I just go up there, and it's like you just catch them off guard, right?
Yeah,
so you kind of know what they're expecting, and then you kind of pull away from that, and then they'll go with you. And so that's the way I approached it. The reality is that MTSU is a great university, and so I'm up there talking about something that I care about, but me caring about it isn't going to necessarily make them care about it, unless I can figure out a way to evoke something that they can all kind of come on board with, which is laughter. Laughter is the best one, I think. And then bring them in. And then once you kind of get them waiting for a punch every once in a while, right, a turn, then they're kind of with you. And in between, I would tell them things about the university that's amazing. So it was a great opportunity to be there, do two of the things that I love most, educating people and making them laugh.
Any guy that can talk about at a preview day, the connection between coming to MTSU and the brief presidency of William Henry Harrison. You made some cool connections there.
Well, thanks. William Henry Harrison gave the longest speech, inauguration speech in American presidential history. He was the oldest person ever to be elected, and he gave that long speech in the rain. He wanted to prove to people that he was not soft and that he was not old and fragile, and he died 32 days later. And I think the lesson of that is, know who you are and also dress appropriately. So,
well, I had a parent and President McPhee say, man, I got to take this guy's class.
Oh, nice.
So talk about the journey between becoming a history professor and really focusing on, like I said in the intro, some pretty serious topics. You're really studying the geographic focus of Russia and the former Soviet Union and the United States and the relationship between those. This is not easy stuff here, right? And then the world of stand-up comedy, which you're still pursuing, right?
Right. As it turns out, when you spend a lot of your time studying very serious, very grave issues that shape the world in the 20th century, in your spare time, you may want to try to figure out ways to make yourself and other people laugh. So I started being very interested in the Cold War because I was born in the 1980s. I was born in 1978, but I grew up in the 80s. And it was this fear, and then, I remember Reagan and Gorbachev, and then, the Soviet Union collapses, and you meet people from over there, and they're like, we were scared of you too. And you kind of get that epiphany. It's like, well, I don't think I was getting the whole story the whole time. Whether or not one side's right or one side's wrong, The reality is the story was far more complicated than the one that we were being told. And so that began a study of the central question, which is how is it that the Cold War, right, capitalism, communism, at a base level, it's just a question about how do you allocate resources, right? But it becomes a global conflict that comes to shape how we view masculinity, how we view what it means to be a woman, what it means to be loyal, what it means to be American, what it means to be Soviet, and it almost destroys humanity. And that to me is one of the things that's fascinating. So, as I said, when you're studying things like that, you try to figure out something to do with the other side of your brain. So I was living in Moscow, and I started telling stories to people about growing up and everything. And then I was like, I think I want to do this. There's no stand-up comedy that I knew of in Moscow. This was 2011, 2012. So I just started writing a sitcom script. I'd never done that before. And so I started writing a pilot and writing other episodes, and I read all these books that I get my hands on. And all the different books by writers disagreed on a lot of different things, but the one thing they all agreed on was that you should do stand-up, even if just for a little while, because it teaches you brevity, it teaches you punch, it teaches you kind of voice, it kind of gets you. And I think it's like, I'll say the same thing about being a history professor that I say about being a stand-up comic, which is the only reason to do either of those things is because you absolutely cannot not do them. Because you want something that's so hard to obtain, and you're constantly, it never stops, right?
Right.
So what I thought when I started was that having been a teacher was going to make me better at stand-up, and that might have actually made me worse at it because I was overconfident. You should be very fragile when you first go on stage the first time. But what I realized, and the reason I can never stop now, and maybe this is just a justification for it because I might not be able to stop anyway, is that stand-up made me a better teacher.
And now you're on a nationally distributed podcast.
Right.
So how did you make that leap into that medium from stand-up to classrooms now to podcasting? I mean, how did that work? Where did you get into that?
Well, I always tell people that I've got a podcast, I'm a stand-up comic, and I'm a historian.
Yeah.
And I say it's like buying 3 lottery tickets. It's like you're 3 times as likely to win, but you're also probably still not likely to win at all. So I grew up with Seth and Scott Avett from the Avett Brothers.
Right. I was going to ask about that, which is a very cool band.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I love them. Great people, great musicians.
Yeah.
The two of them and their road manager, Dane Honeycutt, who is one of my very best friends. And Bob, the guy Bob Crawford, who I do the podcast with, we got to be friends through history. And one of the things that hit me when I was in grad school was that I went to history because I just love history, and I think about it as being essential to being a good citizen and all these things. Not everybody's as into it as I am, even within graduate schools, or they have different views on it. But Bob was somebody I could always call and have a long conversation with history that reminded me why I loved it.
Neat.
And so we, over time, we kept in touch and we would talk a lot. And in 2011, right before I was about to go to Russia, he called me and he said, we need to start a podcast. And I was like, I love it, because there weren't that many people podcasting at the time, and we about did it. But just as we were talking about doing it, Bob's daughter, Hallie, was diagnosed with pediatric cancer. I mean, Bob and his wife, Melanie, are just amazing people. And Hallie is strong, and they fought it. And she's clear. She goes back to St. Jude.
Oh, terrific news.
Yeah, and they had another son named Sam, and family life takes you, and the band was blowing up. But then he called me up about, I think it was April of 2016, and he said, it's time to do the podcast.
And you did it.
All right, and we did it. And we recorded the first one in the basement of Bridgestone Arena in May 2016, right before they played a show there. And it's been an amazing journey.
Describe the podcast in a couple of words. What's the elevator pitch for the podcast?
So the elevator pitch of the podcast is we want to help you understand the world around you by understanding the history behind what's going on right now.
Okay.
So you can't make an informed decision is the best decision, right? But if you don't know the background behind something, you actually can't make a good decision. One of the examples I could give you is the felon disfranchisement, which Pippa Holloway, my colleague here, has written on.
Right.
We did a whole episode on that. We just relaunched it this week and updated it with Pippa. And it's about basically why are there laws on the books in some states that disfranchise felons? The answer is, for the southern states, it was a way of keeping black people from voting. And you can see this. It's not even a question. You can see this whenever they pass these laws. That's what they were doing. That looks a lot different than just saying something like, well, these people have done so time, blah, blah, blah. I think when you understand the history of that, then you can appreciate why something like that happened in Florida, where you see 2/3 of the voters of Florida approve this ballot to add an amendment to the Florida Constitution. and they've drawn attention to it. So what we can do is, I saw some people saying, well, why would you want to do this? And so I've been sharing the episode with them saying, I think if you understand the history of these laws and how they actually work, it'll make more sense to you than just looking at what you saw in one quick news story.
I know you were saying that as a justification for the podcast. It also sounds like a justification for majoring and studying history.
Oh yeah, and not even just majoring, I mean studying history, right? If you can see what's going on, it's so much easier to see human beings in situations in the past and see it objectively than it is to see it right now. Look at what happens with Jim Crow, right, after slavery is outlawed. And you look at the history of that next 100 years, right? You see so much effort being put into keeping white folks and black folks apart. Well, why do you think they put so much effort into keeping people separated? It's because they understand that if you keep people from talking to each other, then someone else can control their story. Someone else can give you that narrative for them. It's not going to be a narrative that's true. It's going to be a narrative that suggests you should continue to support the people that are in power over here. So you can see segregation, and we're at a point now where people don't even question that, right? People are like, oh yeah, segregation was bad. Okay, well, if you understand why people did it, then you can probably see why people are trying to pit people politically apart each other right now. Why they're trying to keep people separated. They don't want people on the left and people on the right talking to each other. Because if we sit down and look each other in the eyes, we find out we're just human beings. We find out that we got kids that we love. We find out we got people we love that we lost. And when we find out that common ground, that's stronger than anything that divides us in terms of what we think taxation should be. So why not learn from the past and see how power actually works when it's something that's very obvious to you, and think about what is at the root of that. And then if you can see it then, and it's easy at this point, I think about how that same general strategy is playing out in your life right now, and don't let someone else tell you that because the other person's a Republican or Democrat, they're bad. Go talk to them.
Well, I got to end on one story that you told at preview day about things that divide us. You're a Michigan State graduate.
State graduate, that's right.
And you relayed a pretty poignant story about the fact that you were actually rooting for the Blue Raiders in the historic defeat in the NCAA tournament over number 2 seeded Michigan State, your alma mater.
I was. The base reason for that is that I'm here now, and I love my alma mater. But just looking at the big picture, Michigan State's been to more Final Fours in the last decade than most colleges have been to NCAA tournaments. Come on, Blue Raiders.
Spread the love.
Oh,
right?
and the Blue Raiders played so well in that, man. It was such a wonderful, and I was here.
Well, Ben Sawyer, thank you for coming on Out of the Blue and sharing your stories.
Andrew, thank you for having me.
And we'll be right back.
Don't underestimate me.
Don't count me out.
Don't limit my potential.
Don't block my runway.
We are Middle Tennessee State University.
I exceed expectations.
I work harder than the rest.
I set the tone.
I still serve with honor.
I go the distance.
I am True Blue.
Your MTSU Alumni Association has a goal of placing this pin on the lapel of all those who call this campus theirs. Let's pass that tradition on.
Let's pass it on.
Focused on the future, the School of Music at Middle Tennessee State University is home to music industry veterans and offers you a myriad of performance opportunities. A music degree minutes from Nashville, Music City, USA, mtsu.edu/music. Middle Tennessee State University offers more than 100 master's and doctoral degrees designed for working professionals. Many of MTSU's graduate programs are offered partially or completely online. More information is available at mtsu.edu/graduate. Do you want the advantages of a major university with the Ivy League experience of an honors college? What you're looking for is right in front of you. Middle Tennessee State University's beautiful campus is home to over 140 majors taught in state-of-the-art facilities. Our undergraduates get hands-on experience, working alongside a highly respected and caring faculty. Take a closer look. Become True Blue.
Pass the tradition on.
Pass the tradition on.
Pass it on.
Don't underestimate me.
Don't count me out.
Don't limit my potential.
Don't block my runway.
We are Middle Tennessee State University.
I exceed expectations.
I work harder than the rest.
I set the tone.
I still serve with honor.
I go the distance.
I am True Blue.
Welcome back to Out of the Blue. I'm Andrew Ottman. The College of Basic and Applied Sciences recently announced medical profession partnerships with two different Tennessee universities. First, the college joined with Union University in Jackson to form a pre-pharmacy program that allows our students clear access to Union's pharmacy college upon their graduation. And we launched the new Medical School Early Acceptance Program, a partnership between Meharry Medical College and MTSU. Here to tell us about them both is Eric Miller, an advisor manager for the College of Basic and Applied Sciences. Eric, welcome.
Thank you.
So we've got two really great programs here that allow students that are interested in these two medical professions some clear access to their future. Let's talk about the Union University one first, the pre-pharmacy direct admission program. What is it and how do I get in it?
Sure. So the Direct Admit pre-pharmacy program is for a student who knows that they want to go to Union University's College of Pharmacy. It allows them direct admission as soon as their freshman year. There are certain courses that they still need to take, the traditional pre-pharmacy courses such as chemistry and organic chemistry and biology and all of those. But it allows them to receive admission to the College of Pharmacy much sooner than they normally would. It takes away the PCAT, the Pharmacy College Admissions Test. They are not responsible for taking that exam. They will do an interview as normal, but if they do what they need to do, they can get accepted as early as their freshman year.
That's really a fast pathway. I mean, it takes a lot of that pressure off them, knowing they're on the right course to get into this program, right? And I assume the classes they take at MTSU, they know because you've collaborated with Union, it's what they need to prepare at Union.
Yes. They can still follow a number of pathways. They can take only the prerequisite courses and be admitted after a year or two of those prerequisite courses, probably two. They can follow our 3+1 program where they'd stay at MTSU for the equivalent of 3 years, take a prescribed set of courses that includes all of the prerequisite courses, and then they can go to Union after the third year and transfer the credit back from their fourth year. They could also complete a traditional degree if they're really interested in a biochemistry degree or biology or psychology. They can complete that degree and the prerequisites, and they can still go and complete their professional program. They just get admitted much sooner than they normally would.
We talk about win-win a lot in higher education, but this really is a win-win for both institutions. We can attract students that are on that pathway and give them a clear line to a pharmacy college. They get a pipeline of some fantastic students from our university, right?
Yeah, that's right. And that's the feedback that I get from a lot of these professional schools when they come and visit us. They really like our students and they know that they're getting a great education. I think that's, the investment that we've made in our science program is really showing here, and they love our new science building and they like the facilities, and they just know that the students that come from MTSU are really well prepared and really well qualified.
And that's a good segue into another innovative partnership, the Medical School Early Acceptance Program. This is Meharry Medical College in Nashville and MTSU. Now, I know the class, by the time this episode airs, we've already started filling the spots for the fall of 19, but we'll be looking soon for some students for the fall of 2020, correct?
That's right.
So talk about that program. What's the advantage of this early acceptance program?
To get accepted into medical school is a really difficult thing to do. We have a lot of students on MTSU's campus that would like to do it, and a select few that actually get to complete the program successfully and move on to medical school. This program, again, is really looking for a student who knows exactly what they want to do and exactly where they want to do it. And it gives them the opportunity to get that acceptance conditionally to medical school as early as their freshman year in school. And so it's really when they come out of high school, they not only get admitted to MTSU, but they're also getting admission to medical school as well.
And this is what's described in our business as a 3+4 program.
That's right.
Correct? 3 years at MTSU, 4 years at Meharry, so 7 years, perhaps if everything works correctly as designed, taking 1 year off the traditional pathway to get your MD.
That's right. So we're looking for some really dedicated and students who know exactly what they want to do. It is a very challenging course of study that I think we've drawn up for these students. We are really looking for the best of the best and our brightest.
And because of that, it's a more limited number of slots. As I understand your first class that we're filling for the fall of 19, we're looking at 15 students.
Slots, that's correct.
And that is going to be extremely competitive and really a process between both institutions to make sure that those 15 can handle that academic rigor, right?
Exactly. It's a joint admissions process, so they have to get admitted to both universities. They'll get admitted to MTSU through the traditional pathway, and then we'll have a joint committee with Meharry where they'll need to interview and they'll need to explain a little bit about their interests. As part of the application, we ask them to write an essay explaining how this program will help them meet their professional goals. They have to get recommendation letters from either doctors or people that they've worked with that can attest to their abilities in the classroom and also as a future medical professional.
I fully anticipate that this program is going to eventually occupy a prestige level at MTSU that is very similar to the Buchanan.
Exactly.
That type of competitiveness. But unlike the Buchanans, it is limited to Tennesseans only because of our connection through the General Assembly. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So we had a certain amount of money that was allocated to this program to help support students through it. And as a result, the expectation is that these students will be serving the state of Tennessee, and they'll be serving in an underserved area as a family practitioner. And so we really are looking for Tennesseans to help meet that goal. And I think that speaks to the governor's drive to 55 and really trying to get people staying in the state and serving the state.
And I know also that former Senator Bill Ketron, who's now mayor of Rutherford County, who was one of the legislative sponsors and really the leaders of getting this done, I think the intent also was to drive the graduates of this program hopefully to serve in rural areas of Tennessee, to serve underserved areas that need physicians.
That's right, that's right. There's a giant need for that right now, and I think that's part of the reason why we decided to shorten the program. We thought that if we could get people out into the field working sooner, that we could meet that need in a quicker way.
You talked about meeting the needs of what the people want, what the community's needs, the economy. I guess the common thread of both of these programs is how can we get the best students doing the jobs that need to be done as quickly as possible into the places where they're needed the most, right?
Yeah. I like to point to our facilities on campus, and when I go out and talk to students, I always talk about those things and how they can get a great experience at MTSU, but they can also get really quality education especially from our science faculty and our science facilities on campus. And that's true across the board. I think college-wide, university-wide, MTSU is a great place to come and get prepared for what you need.
Well, Eric, thank you for joining us on Out of the Blue and talking about these two wonderful programs.
Thank you very much for having me.
And we'll be right back.
Don't underestimate me.
Don't count me out.
Don't limit my potential.
Don't block my runway.
We are Middle Tennessee State University.
I exceed expectations.
I work harder than the rest.
I set the tone.
I still serve with honor.
I go the distance.
I am True Blue.
Your MTSU Alumni Association has a goal of placing this pin on the lapel of all those who call this campus theirs. Let's pass that tradition on.
Let's pass it on.
Focused on the future, the School of Music at Middle Tennessee State University is home to music industry veterans and offers you a myriad of performance opportunities. A music degree minutes from Nashville, Music City, USA, mtsu.edu/music. Middle Tennessee State University offers more than 100 master's and doctoral degrees designed for working professionals. Many of MTSU's graduate programs are offered partially or completely online. More information is available at mtsu.edu/graduate. Do you want the advantages of a major university with the Ivy League experience of an honors college? What you're looking for is right in front of you. Middle Tennessee State University's beautiful campus is home to over 140 majors taught in state-of-the-art facilities. Our undergraduates get hands-on experience, working alongside a highly respected and caring faculty. Take a closer look. Become True Blue.
pass the tradition on.
Pass the tradition on.
Pass it on.
Welcome back to Out of the Blue. I'm Andrew Ottman in Hinton Hall in the Wright Music Building with Dr. Reed Thomas, Director of the Wind Ensemble, Director of Bands at MTSU. You know, we are giving our viewers a real treat here. They're going to see a preview of what you will be performing in Joys of the Season on December 2nd. So tell us just real briefly about the Wind Ensemble. Tell me about these great students.
It's the premier performing ensemble within MTSU School of Music. These are all the best students in the instrumental side that we have, and they're dedicated to making great music and fun to work with.
Well, Reed, I'm going to get out of the way. Y'all play. Take over.
All right, thanks.